From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSP TV and the Standard Speaker.
Looking to the future and the issues that Hazleton will face. A financial study of the city revealed the onset of the bankruptcy if something isn't done now. You can say it was a wake-up call for many, but not surprising to some. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us, everyone. I'm Kristen Bazinski. Well, it's a harsh reality for the city of Hazleton as officials begin to look to the future when it comes to money. A financial study of the city revealed the onset of bankruptcy if something isn't done now. If immediate action isn't taken, by 2016, the city will be about $14 million in debt. You can say it was a wake-up call for those who may not have known or realized just how bad things really were, but most members of council and Mayor Joe Iannuzzi were not surprised to hear the shocking results of the early intervention study conducted by the Pennsylvania Economy League. The study was funded by the state. Now, PEL for short analyzed financial records from 2005 to 2011 to prepare projections for 2012 through 2016. And in the end, the report calls for immediate action.
I think the public knew we were in trouble. We've professed that we were in trouble. We needed. That's why we called them in to give us an official report. And so now we have something to go by. The $580,000 that we lose next year, everybody was aware of that. That's going to happen in 2013. So we're going to make some changes, try to do some creative financing. You know, hopefully we can solve it. And as far as 2012, we're going in the red slightly. So that happened when council took out our rental ordinance, took $200,000 out of our budget that we had in there. So hopefully we can make some adjustments and end the year close to balanced.
If you've paid attention to city government across Pennsylvania, it's not surprising that cities are under pressure. Hazleton's problems stem from general fund expenditure levels, pension levels that are expenditure levels that are getting higher, and some debt service levels that have to be addressed. But they're not at all unusual or unique to Hazleton.
Now, some of the recommendations include working with department heads to analyze overtime costs for city employees, reevaluate the earned income tax projections, and the report offered some revenue recommendations. For example, increase parking meter income and even renting city-owned property for advertising space. And that's just a few. The report also analyzed each department in the city and provided individualized recommendations. For example, one of the recommendations for the city's fire department would be to implement a sick leave monitoring program. In the end, the mayor and council agreed that the road ahead is not going to be easy, and some tough decisions will be made that will not be supported by everyone. But the city will go bankrupt if immediate action is not taken. A 17-year-old from Hazleton is in some serious hot water with police tonight after pointing a gun at several people. He's being charged as an adult, and it's all because the teen wanted a belt. This is Mitchell Dides of West Hemlock Street. He was hauled off to prison Tuesday morning after answering to a judge. Dides, while only 17, is being charged as an adult. It all started just before 1 Tuesday morning when city police were called to a home in the 500 block of Grant Street for the report of a robbery. Victims of the crime told police that Dides showed up at the home with two females, one of whom was a friend of the victim who lives at the Grant Street residence. Now, once inside, Dides, who has a teardrop tattoo under his eye, told everyone to get on the floor and pointed a gun at them. Dides ordered everyone to empty their pockets, and he gathered up a number of items, including an iPhone, clothes, money, and a watch. Dides also got away with a Hermes gold belt from the victim who lived at the home. And according to one of the females who was with him during the robbery, she told police the belt is what Diaz wanted and is the reason he robbed the place. A short time after the Grant Street robbery, police responded to a report of possible gunshots and a disturbance near 17th and Lafayette Court. That's when officers spotted Diaz and recognized him immediately because of the teardrop tattoo. And they also found a gun in clear view on the front seat of a car that was parked near the scene of the second incident, the same car Diaz was driving. Diaz was taken into custody and was found with most of those stolen items. He is being charged as an adult again because he had the gun, which also had no license, and he already has a past criminal record. Now to the north side, where the search is on for a man who snatched cash from a register at the Sure Save in Freeland. Take a good look at this surveillance video of the crime and see if that man looks familiar to you. After pacing the store outside, the suspect walks into the store around 9 o'clock Monday night, does some shopping, waits for other customers to leave, pays for a water and some tasty cakes, and gives the cashier money. When she opens the register, as you just saw, he reaches in and grabs cash. But the worker struggles with him until he finally breaks loose with the cash and flees the store on foot. Now, during the robbery, the suspect did not show a weapon, but did apologize to the worker. He said he was sorry, but he needed the money. Again, take a very good look at the surveillance video to see if that robber looks familiar to you. If he does, call Freeland Police at 636-0111 or dial 911 if you can provide them with any information. Police in the area are on the lookout for a man who tried to abduct a female in the borough of Whitehaven earlier today. We know that the man was driving a dark gray older model pickup truck with an older style New York license plate. Now the man pulled over to ask a woman for directions and then tried grabbing her and pulling her into the truck. The woman thankfully got away. The truck headed towards the Freeland Hazleton area. The man was described as having salt and pepper color hair and a mustache. Dial 911 if you see a truck matching this description. Bring your key issues to the table, or should I say the telephone, tonight. State Representative Tara Toohill wants to hear from the 116th District during a telephone town hall meeting. All your questions will be answered from the comfort of your own home, and here's how it works. Representative Toohill will be calling you from her district office phone number, which is 570-453-1344. Now, if you don't get a call yourself, all you have to do is dial 1-877-229-8493 and then enter the passcode 18520 between 7 and 8 p.m. tonight. Ask about state issues or state affairs happening right here in our own community. And if you have a question, all you have to do is press *3 to call it in. If you have any questions about the state budget, property tax, or the economy, no problem, because Representative Toohill is ready to chat, so make sure you keep your phone nearby tonight. And coming up on News 13, junk food is a fatty favorite of kids all across America, and now some schools are limiting just how much sweets and treats students can get their hands on. The impressive findings are coming up. Plus, the battle in Banks Township continues, and the minority supervisor is odd man out once again. More on this morning's controversial meeting headed your way. Stay with us. If you played the Pennsylvania Lottery today, we sure hope you're a winner. Here are the numbers. Your daily number 355, Big 4, 0827, Quinto 89460, and Treasure Hunt 7891221.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Anthracite Apostles will be hosting a bike run to benefit the Helping Hand Society. The event will be held Saturday, August 18th. Registration begins at 9 a.m. at Perkins. The ride will leave around 11 and end at Quaker Steak and Lube in Bloomsburg with food, games, bike wash, and bands. For more information, please call 570-762-2070. And finally tonight, Christ Church United Church of Christ will be hosting their annual Peach Social Friday, August 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. in Smith Hall. The church is located on Main Street in Cunningham. Tickets are just $7 and can be purchased by calling the church at 570-788-1964. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Nathan A. Hoffman of Freeland. Memorial service will be held Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Philip J. Jeffries Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Jackson Lee Dalton of Danville. Burial will be held at the convenience of the family. The McNulty Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Grace Diana Kern of Hazleton. Funeral is Friday at 1 p.m. at the Firo Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. David J. Kishbaugh of Cunningham. Funeral is Saturday at 9:30 a.m. from the Holy Annunciation Parish at St. Gabriel's Church. Friends may call at the church from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Rosemary Lindman of Hazleton. Services will be private and at the convenience of the family and under the direction of the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. Madeline T. Roberts, formerly of McAdoo. Funeral is Thursday at 9:30 a.m. at the Damiano Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Genevieve T. Miner of Claire's. Funeral is Thursday at 9 a.m. at the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. And Antoinette H. Schott of McAdoo. Funeral is Saturday at 9:30 a.m. from the Damiano Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's. Don't settle for second best when dining out. Discover Mia's new low-price dinner menu. And remember, there's always plenty of free gated parking behind the Markle Building.
Well, it's no secret kids love junk food, and keeping them away from it could help their health. But how far should this idea go? Well, health experts say straight to Washington by passing laws that would control the sale of junk food and sweetened drinks in schools. Child obesity could slow down and get their metabolisms to speed up. Now, some states are already on board with this idea of healthier eating for students and do have competitive food laws in schools. As a part of a nationwide study, kids from 5th to 8th grade were monitored to see how well the idea really works. The results? Well, children who took part gained less weight if they lived in states where schools limited snack sales. And believe it or not, kids in those same states who were overweight were more likely to reach a healthy weight. States that limit junk food in schools may not be seeing huge effects, but the results are keeping some very optimistic. A fun and quick way for young adults to make some money and learn responsibility to babysit. But of course, you want to be prepared and be a safe sitter. Most parents want the person who they trust their children with to be trained in first aid and know what to do in case of an emergency. The one-day class offered by the Hazleton General Hospital teaches kids all about how to handle emergencies when caring for a child. Those attending the class will get hands-on practice in basic life-saving techniques and tips on what to do in certain situations. The class will be held August 20th at Hazleton General Hospital from 8 to 3 p.m. Now, students of the program will have to pass a written and practical exam to become certified. The cost is $40. Registration is encouraged because space is limited, so make sure you call the Education Department and sign up now, 501-4846. Well, I'm sure most of our Schuylkill County viewers had their umbrellas handy on this Tuesday. Wet weather hung around all day long, and the thunderstorms are going away tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. We will see a chance of thunderstorms tonight. I have no idea who wrote that and what they're talking about, because the forecast says there are thunderstorms in the forecast tonight and a pretty good chance of them too, low down to 61 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies will come our way for your Wednesday, halfway to the weekend, folks. Thunderstorms again are likely with a high near 80 degrees. And not much different for our greater Hazleton viewers who experienced wet weather throughout the day as well. Corey Matrosino from the Valley Elementary School bringing you tonight's creative condition, his creation, all rain, and it looks like he might be right. And you might want to add in a little thunder and lightning too, because tonight in Greater Hazleton, the temp dips to 63 degrees with thunderstorms likely and mostly cloudy skies. For your Wednesday, a bit cooler, high up to 72, 50% chance of some thunder and lightning and rain, and it will be partly sunny with some clouds mixing in. Just Windows and much, much more, 636-1133. First Street, Freeland, better windows plus better installation equal Just Windows. Don't forget, you can visit them online and learn more at justwindowsandmore.com. All right, News 13 wants to send you to see Legally Blonde, a musical presented by the Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts, August 17th and 18th at 7 p.m. and then again on August 19th at 3 o'clock. You be the 13th caller right now and you can win 2 tickets to see Legally Blonde on stage right here in Hazleton. Call right now at 459-9813. This is for your live at 4 newscast only. Good luck. More local news is headed your way right here on News 13. When we come back, we head to Banks Township, where the battle continued this morning as yet another heated supervisors meeting took place. Stay with us. Well, it's no secret, Banks Township supervisors do not always see eye to eye, and more times than not, it's a 2-to-1 vote. Today's meeting may have even caught the minority supervisor by a little surprise. The feuds continue in this part of Carbon County, and News 13 was there for the latest round of controversy.
From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Hey again, everyone. Thanks so much for staying with us tonight. I'm Kristen Bazinski. We begin in Banks Township, where supervisors and residents met for the monthly meeting. This time around, several more issues added fuel to the already burning fire. Our Jasmine Brooks has more.
It was a typical Banks Township meeting Tuesday morning, the agenda full of arguments and disagreements.
That's the way everybody should live. You know what? I'm telling you, you better get the father out of here.
Some between the supervisors and community members, other feuds amongst the supervisors themselves, which is almost expected considering Rick Porpiglia seems to constantly be the odd man out, while Walter Babowski and Teresa Schott tend to agree on the same issues. But then came something that caught many by surprise. An executive session was called and Porpiglia not included. Solicitor Joseph Wyko and supervisors Babowski and Schott held a meeting to talk about a claim Porpiglia had made, requesting back pay on work he did for the township. Then another shock. Wyko claimed Porpiglia was never employed by the township and may even be guilty of fraud.
Mr. Porpiglia fraudulently worked hours and demanded the payment. The fraud doesn't come from the working, it comes from the demand of payment. And actually, once the fraud is complete, once the payment is made and the check cashed, the fraud is not complete until then. It is my legal opinion, may be fraud, may be illegal, may be a conflict of interest in violation of the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Porpiglia says research wasn't done well enough. He has been a part-time employee for the township since 2006.
I requested my back pay for working for the township as a laborer, which they refused at first. That's why I had to seek legal advice. And that legal advice sent them a letter requesting them to pay my back pay, which they voted on to do so. The outcome of that is supposedly they fired me, terminated me as a laborer. They got rid of the road foreman, road masters, but I still am a part-time employee with the township. They claim fraud. I don't see where. I guess it'll come out in the courts if I pursue this.
That issue currently is going back and forth without a resolution at this time. Porpiglia will be paid for 83.5 hours of work and will no longer be allowed to work for the township. It's now up to Schott and Babowski to decide if they want to pursue getting Porpiglia for fraud, something that most likely would disappoint many Banks Township residents, like Marianne Novotnik, who is thankful for Porpiglia's hard work in helping her get a 911 address.
Well, I think Mr. Porpiglia is a really great guy. I've been involved since April trying to get a 911 address, and he is the only one that's provided me with information. I found him in my area numbering houses. He was down the 911 communication center talking to some of the people that work down there, and I know them because I've been in contact with the people since April, and I just think it's totally unfair because Mr. Porpiglia is a good person.
Tuesday's meeting was at 9 a.m. instead of the usual 7 p.m., another issue that added even more fuel to the fire. Residents in attendance want meetings held at nighttime, but Babowski and Schott disagree and voted 2-to-1 to permanently change them to mornings.
The people here don't, but there are 1,350 other people out there that I've been questioned by a lot of them. And a lot of them work different shifts. A lot of them want to come in. They can't because they're working. So I feel for these couple of months it would be a good idea to give them an opportunity. If it doesn't work out, we can go back to the 7 o'clock. I mean, there's not a problem there.
Again, Porpiglia remains the odd man out. Not only did he vote against it, but he's not even sure he can make all the morning meetings.
Well, I work third shift. Sometimes there's mandatory overtime. I get off at work at 7:30. I mean, this morning I had to cancel a medical appointment.
Reporting for News 13, Jasmine Brooks, Banks Township.
All right, Jasmine, thanks. Well, it's a harsh reality for the city of Hazleton as officials begin to look to the future when it comes to money. A financial study of the city revealed the onset of bankruptcy if something isn't done now. Now, if immediate action isn't taken by 2016, the city will be about $14 million in debt. You can say it was a wake-up call for those who may not have known or realized just how bad things really were. But most members of council and Mayor Joe Yannuzzi were not surprised to hear the shocking results of the early intervention study conducted by the Pennsylvania Economy League. The study was funded by the state, PEL for short, and analyzed financial records from 2005 to 2011 to prepare projections for 2012 through 2016. And in the end, the report calls for immediate action.
I think the public knew we were in trouble. We've professed that we were in trouble. We needed. That's why we called them in to give us an official report. And so now we have something to go by. The $580,000 that we lose next year, everybody was aware of that. That's going to happen in 2013. So we're going to make some changes, try to do some creative financing. You know, hopefully we can solve it. And as far as 2012, we're going in the red slightly. So that happened when council took out our rental ordinance, took $200,000 out of our budget that we had in there. So hopefully we can make some adjustments and end the year close to balanced.
If you've paid attention to city government across Pennsylvania, it's not surprising that cities are under pressure. Hazleton's problems stem from general fund expenditure levels, pension levels that are expenditure levels that are getting higher, and some debt service levels that have to be addressed. But they're not at all unusual or unique to Hazleton.
Now, some of the recommendations include working with department heads to analyze overtime costs for city employees and reevaluate the earned income tax projections. The report also offered some revenue recommendations, for example, increased parking meter income and even renting city property for advertising space. And that's just to name a few. The report also analyzed each department in the city and provided individualized recommendations. For example, one of the recommendations for the fire department would be to implement a sick leave monitoring program. In the end, the mayor and council agreed that the road ahead is not going to be easy, and some decisions that will be made will not be supported by everyone. But the city will go bankrupt if immediate action is not taken. A 17-year-old from Hazleton's in some serious hot water with police. He pointed a gun at several people and is being charged as an adult, and it's all because that teen wanted a belt. This is Mitchell Dides of West Hemlock Street. He was hauled off to prison Tuesday morning after answering to a judge. Dides, while only 17, is being charged as an adult. It all started just before 1 Tuesday morning when city police were called to a home in the 500 block of Grant Street for a reported robbery. Victims of the crime told police that Dides showed up at the home with 2 females, one of whom was a friend of the victim who lives at the Grant Street residence. Now, once inside, Dides, who has teardrop tattoos under his eye, told everyone to get on the floor and pointed a gun at them. Dides ordered everyone to empty their pockets, and he gathered up a number of items, including an iPhone, clothes, money, and a watch. Dides also got away with a Hermes gold belt from the victim who lived at the home, and according to the female who was with him during the robbery, she told police the belt is what Dides wanted and is the reason he robbed the place. A short time after the Grant Street robbery, police responded to a report of possible gunshots and a disturbance near 17th and Lafayette Court. That's when officers spotted Dides and recognized him immediately because of the teardrop tattoos. And they also found a gun in clear view on the front seat of a car that was parked near the scene of the second incident. The same car Didas was driving. Now Didas was taken into custody and was found with most of the stolen items. He is being charged as an adult because he had the gun, which also had no license, and he even has a past criminal history. Now to the north side, where the search is on for a man who snatched cash from a register at the Sure Save in Freeland. Take a good look at this surveillance video of the crime and see if that man looks familiar to you. After pacing the store outside, the suspect walks inside around 9 o'clock Monday night, does some shopping, waits for other customers to leave, pays for a water and some tasty cakes, and gives the cashier money. When the cashier opens the register, he reaches in and grabs cash, as you just saw. But the worker struggles with him until he finally breaks loose with the cash and flees the store on foot. Now, during the robbery, the suspect did not show a weapon but did apologize to the worker. He said he was sorry but needed the money. Again, take a good close look at the surveillance video to see if the robber looks familiar to you, and call Freeland Police at 636-0111 or dial 911 if you can provide police with any information. All right, coming up on News 13, thunderstorms across Greater Hazleton and beyond made up this Tuesday, and Mother Nature may not be done showering on us just yet. Your full forecast on the way, but first, ouch is the only word you can describe prices at the pump. They're really starting to hurt. Find out just how much gas prices have soared next. 2 people involved in a fiery crash in Schuylkill County Monday morning are listed in stable condition tonight. This was the scene at the intersection of routes 924 and 339 in East Union Township Monday morning. A Schuylkill County Transit bus hit a work van after that van did not stop at the intersection. The impact sent both vehicles across the road. Several signs were knocked over, and the bus ended up head first into a utility pole, and both vehicles ended up catching fire. Off-duty officer Robert Snap and Good Samaritan John Yakubik were first on scene and helped rescue the 2 drivers from the vehicles. State police tell News 13 the van was driven by 43-year-old Harold Wolford of Mount Carmel. 51-year-old Karen Schultz of Schuylkill Haven was behind the wheel of the public transit bus. Both victims' drivers suffered serious injuries and were flown to the hospital. Thankfully, their condition has improved. When will gasoline prices stop rising? A common question over the past few weeks again. Prices at the pump have soared above $3.60 a gallon in most areas, much higher than last year at this time, and much more than 20 cents higher than a month ago in some cases. Nationwide, the price of gasoline has increased by 5.4 cents per gallon in the last week to $3.68 per gallon. And experts are predicting that we will top $4 in some parts of the country. The national average has increased 25.8 cents a gallon in the last month and is 6 cents higher than a year ago today. So why the surge after much lower prices earlier this summer? Well, some say it's because of refinery problems, but that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so motorists should sit tight. Once summer passes, fuel prices fall for the colder seasons. Well, I'm sure most of our Schuylkill County viewers have their umbrellas handy on this Tuesday. Wet weather hung around all day, and the thunderstorms are going to be sticking around for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, 60% chance of that thunder and lightning and rain, low down to 61 degrees. Your 4-day outlook for Schuylkill County, we look at Wednesday, thunderstorms are likely, but we could see the sun popping out. 80 will be our high, down to 58. We're sunny skies on Thursday with an 82 as our high. Friday, chance of a thunderstorm to roll through, 62 degrees. And then on Saturday, look for the possibility of thunderstorms, the sun popping through the clouds, and a high up to 76 degrees. And not too much different from our Greater Hazleton viewers who experienced wet weather throughout the day as well. Corey Matrosino from the Valley Elementary School bringing you tonight's forecast with this creative condition, and it's all rain, which he looks like he may be all right for tonight, because we are going to see thunderstorms taking you through the evening, mostly cloudy skies, and a low down to 63 degrees. And your 4 days ahead are looking cool and thunderstorm filled. 72 On your Wednesday, with thunderstorms likely, 76 on Thursday, sun will be shining bright. And then for your Friday, look for some thunderstorms as a possibility during the day. But all in all, it will be mostly sunny. 77 will be our high. Then Saturday, sunny skies for the most part and a high near 71. Your forecast brought to you by Valley High Drive-In, West Hazelton, Route 93. Make sure you stop by Valley High, rain or shine, because they've got ice cream and lots of sweet treats and good food for you. Well, it's a long list of new words that you may or may not use. Either way, you can catch these terms in Webster's brand new dictionary. You'll want to hear this. Plus, pot for patients. Certain medical conditions now come with a prescription of marijuana. We'll tell you what states now on board next.
SSP TV Sports on News 13.
Hello everyone and welcome to sports on this rainy Tuesday. I'm Gary Perna. Fred Barletta is off tonight. Well, the Yankees closed out their series up at Syracuse last night, winning the game 6-4. Meanwhile, down in the Lehigh Valley, the Iron Pigs also managed a close out a series on a positive note, edging out Rochester 3-5. That brings us to tonight. After having yesterday off, both Columbus and Akron returned to the grind, with Columbus hosting the Durham Bulls and Akron traveling to Harrisburg to battle with the Senators. The Baby Yankees will travel home to start a series against Pawtucket, and the Iron Pigs will head north to Buffalo, where they'll take on the Bison. So, how are our local teams doing? Well, let's take a look first at the International League North standings, where we see the Baby Yankees on top, riding their 2-game win streak, but the Pawtucket Red Sox are nipping at their heels, only 2 games behind. The Lehigh Valley is in 3rd place with 3.5 games behind. It's pretty close to a 3-way race for the top seed. Taking a look down the line, we see that no team is completely out of the race yet, with the Buffalo Bison only 10 games behind the Yankees. Heading out west to check on Russ Kanzler and the Clippers, we see Indianapolis still in a commanding lead of that division with 10 wins against the Clippers, who are in 2nd place. It almost looks like a 2-way competition for 1st place out there as we take a look at the last 2 teams in that division. Toledo and Louisville round out the bottom of that division, 24.5 games and 26.5 games behind. And finally, we cannot forget about Kyle Landis and the Arrows, who are still in 1st place in the Eastern League AA Eastern Division with 70 wins and 50 losses. In 2nd place, the Bowie Bay Sox are 8 games behind, and the Flying Squirrels of Richmond have the 3rd spot with 9.5 games behind. The rest of the division looks like this. Altoona, 11 games behind. Harrisburg, 14.5 games behind, and Erie is in last place with 16.5 games behind. Well, the last item on tonight's agenda, the big leads. The Yankees host Texas, the LA Dodgers travel to Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay, well, they are all the way out on the West Coast playing Seattle. That game will get started at 10 p.m. here on our coast. The Mets are over in Cincinnati, and the Fightin' Phils are in the hopefully sunny, not rainy, like we've been seeing here, beaches of Miami to take on the Marlins.
Hey, how hungry are you? Tonight, the most popular wing night in town is up at Bottlenecks. That's right, they've got the area's best wings, and every Tuesday, they're just $9.95 for all you can eat. All of the delicious flavors. You can have as many as you like. You can't go wrong, and they are delicious. Up at Bottlenecks every Tuesday. They sponsor us not only on Tuesdays, but it's a great place.
Well, if you haven't heard yet, people with certain medical conditions are now able to register with New Jersey officials as medical marijuana patients. Doctors willing to recommend the drug have been able to register since 2010. Now the patients will be able to do so also. The state will send patients ID cards within 5 days after their applications are complete. The registry is opening as the state's first legal medical marijuana dispensary prepares to open. Greenleaf Compassion Center of Montclair expects to open next month and will harvest the cannabis crop for approved patients. 6 other centers selected by the state will open up in the future. This comes more than 2 years after New Jersey legislators passed a law allowing doctors to prescribe medical marijuana. Popular phrases such as man cave, bucket list, and game changer are among the new entries in the 2012 update of the Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, according to a list released by the company on Tuesday. The Merriam-Webster said the list offers a revealing look at U.S. culture and the colorful language English speakers adopt to describe it. Okay, here we go. Some of the new words added, some of the most popular ones. F-bomb. No explanation needed. I'll leave it to your imagination. Aha moments. It's a moment of sudden realization, inspiration, insight, recognition, or comprehension. Brain cramp. An instance of temporary mental confusion resulting in an error or lapse of judgment. Bucket list. A list of things that one has not done before but wants to do before dying. Energy drink, a usually carbonated beverage that typically contains caffeine and other ingredients intended to increase the drinker's energy. E-reader, a handheld electronic device designed to be used for reading, e-books, and similar material. Game changer, a newly introduced element or factor that changes an existing situation or activity in a significant way. Life coach, an advisor who helps people make decisions, set and reach goals, or deal with problems. Here's a good one. Man cave, a room or space, as in a basement, designed according to the taste of the man of the house to be used as his personal area for hobbies and leisure activities. And finally, sexting, the sending of sexually explicit messages or images by cell phone. There's actually 100 words that were added, so you can check out online all the rest of the words as well. Well, that'll do it for us tonight. Thanks so much for making us a part of your day. You can catch this newscast again with a rebroadcast throughout tonight, or simply go to News 13's website, ssptv.com. That's where you're going to find everything Greater Hazleton, Schuylkill County, and beyond. It's all just a click away. On behalf of your News 13 team, be safe. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. Good night.